The roundabout get you? How is the roundabout?
They're putting curbing in,
Oh,
so it's one way if
uh,
alternately.
I have to go to Chester later, so I was looking forward to a report.
Well, once they finish work for the day, it'll be two ways.
Yeah, but I have to go at 2 o'clock, so
Oh, yeah, yeah,
he'll be working.
yeah.
How are you?
So, hmm,
How are you?
okay.
Good.
Tomorrow, likelihood is that I won't make it. I have to take the car down to Hamburg, Reynolds,
Oh, yeah.
Subaru, at 9 o'clock. And if I can get in there and get my loaner and get on the road and get back here by maybe quarter after,
That's fine.
I'll do that. But if it's going to be 25 after or whatever, I'll just go home.
Whatever. I will attempt to record.
Well, I need brakes all around and major service.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, yeah, we have weekend trips planned, so I want to be
Yeah,
safe.
absolutely. Morning, Jeff.
Morning.
Good morning, everybody. Just trying to adjust my cam.
Yeah,
I think that's about as good as it gets, just so you get my arms and my feet in there.
yeah.
So I
It's
think I got it.
it's much better than it used to be.
Yeah, no, this is great. I'm glad they installed all this whole new system in my complex.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
and the real shocker is it's considerably less money than I was paying for the other piece of garbage. So, yeah,
Well, so you win on both accounts.
yeah, I sure do. So
Good, good. All right. Well,
oh, not hearing it.
I know. I suddenly realized that.
Yeah,
We'll start again, just for you, Jeff.
thank you. And Bambi. Bambi likes it too. She's
Oh,
over
okay. Wow.
The first two strikes weren't especially strong, but the last one just
You know, it's interesting. If you hit it at exactly the right place, and you'd think after all these years I'd have it down, but I'm human, I guess. So, questions?
happens to all of us.
Yeah. Reports? Uh,
Uh, some questions regarding what we were doing with bending the back. Um, one I mean, is this the same thing as we've been doing when we are doing the C curve? That's my first
yes.
question. And my observation, the second part, is that I'm having a lot more difficulty than anticipated while doing it, remembering to tuck my sacrum and hips under. I keep leaving them out, and you know, it's much more of a thing I have to try and be conscious of than expected. So I'm still working on that very much. Made a little bit of progress, but not as much as I thought I would because it's taking a lot more thought than expected. But those are the two things that are
Yeah.
coming from me for this week.
So yes, C curve is just another term.
Okay, so we're not really doing anything different than when we were trying to work with the C curve initially a couple months back.
Yep,
We're just focusing on it more and looking at it a little bit more in depth.
yep, you got it.
Okay, all right.
And the the movement of the sacral area is much more difficult than the neck,
Mm,
and it does take practice and time before um, it becomes relatively easy or natural for you to do.
right.
So you're not strange, Jeff. You're actually uh, like a
Well,
lot of the
I'm
rest
still
of us.
strange, but maybe not in that way.
Yeah.
So related to that, though, David, when we do want to tuck the sacrum under, what I find myself wanting to do is to do it by contracting my abdominal muscles and kind of pulling it rather than releasing. And I'm guessing I should be releasing, right?
Well, you're there. There could be well, probably for you that there shouldn't be any contraction of the abdominal muscles. I will say for Bill, if he does reverse breathing, which we've worked on in his other class,
Right.
there might be a contraction related to that. Um, but basically, yes, you're trying to find how do you do that um, without tightening everything up, as always.
Yeah. Yeah. It's for whatever reason, when trying to do this, I find myself going way back in time to when, I don't know if it's reverse breathing or breathing without breathing, whatever we called it way back when we did, the actual breath was disconnected from the abdominal movement, and I would draw in with the abdomen on the inward part. And I find myself starting to try and do that when I'm also tucking my sacrum under now, for whatever reason. Um,
So at this stage, ideally, you're not doing that.
okay.
Um, and I, I can only encourage you to keep practicing because that's how you get there.
Yeah, no, that's what I'll have to do. Like I said, these are just a couple things that have come up this week when I focused on this more than I have to date.
That's
So,
great. That's
yeah,
great. No, it's a having that awareness allows you to do something with it or about it.
right.
Um, it's not being aware of it that really gets in the way.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Okay.
That speaks for me too. I worked a bit on doing things without my arms,
mhm.
and I find that a lot more challenging up,
Mhm.
up here. And it probably means that I'm paying too much attention to my arms when I'm using my arms. You
Perhaps.
um, but one of the things that seems to be obvious is that, and mostly because of doing it without my arms, my lengthening out is noticeably longer in duration than my lengthening in.
Mm.
We go out and out, and then the in is done in half the time
Yeah.
and I'm sure that needs to be adjusted.
Yes. So again, it's the awareness,
Yeah.
and that's part of the reason why uh, a practice like this without the arms is valuable because um, as you were indicating there, the first thing is it's teaching you to keep your intent focused on where you are,
Yeah.
and what you're doing, because you don't have the hand movement, the arm movement to tell you what posture you're working
Right.
on. But your focus about what's happening with the energy needs to be just the same. And the other thing is that you'll find that when you do relax your arms, that they will begin to twist and bend very, very subtly. It's not a big movement.
Mm.
As a matter of fact, the bending and stretching is pretty much so small, it's happening internally and is related more to the energy than to the physical movement.
Yeah.
But the twisting actually occurs,
Yeah.
just naturally occurs. One of the things I noticed watching the video from last week was that you were standing there and your thumbs were extended out. And obviously that indicates a certain lack of relaxation.
Yeah, exactly. And I did try to work on that, a bit.
Yeah.
I know better, but I the thought was, okay, keep them still. And I overdid it. So.
Yeah. So one of the things, and I'm not trying to complicate things here, but sometimes helps in regard to your intent, is to remember to focus on connecting energetically with those 8 energetic points in the body, either a organ or the 3 primary dantians. Because that kind of helps your mind stay aware of where you are, and also to make this even more valuable energetically. So did that raise a question or anything?
Actually, I had been wondering about something. We
Mhm.
generally focus on the lower dantian or the middle dantian or the third eye. Separately, we work on them separately. What happens if we try to activate all 3 at the same time? Is that it's just a wonderment.
Eventually you will
Okay.
do that,
Okay.
but I don't, probably not yet.
Okay.
It's my...
It was just, I
No, it's a
wasn't
good thought.
eager to.
No, it's a good thought.
Yeah.
If you remember, when we're working on reverse breathing, and we worked on connecting the
Yeah.
lower dantian to the middle dantian, and we mentioned the upper, but I didn't really take us very much into that.
Yeah.
Obviously, that is connecting the lower and middle dantian as you do that. And when you can really feel that, then you can go on to connecting to the upper dantian. And part of approaching that kind of connection is being able to feel each one clearly and separately, which is what you're doing in this in the standing practice. Because if you don't clearly sense and feel each one, how are you going to connect them?
Yeah.
So it is becoming clearly aware, and also recognizing when you get to the upper dantian, you're getting into the 40 centers in the brain. So there's a great complexity up there. and it's also related to the eyes. So there's a whole getting to the upper dantian is another whole world in a way. But maybe we'll get there.
Yeah.
Any of this raise more questions for you, Jeff?
Where's, as a reminder, where specifically is the upper dantian?
Third eye?
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yep.
Just wanted to verify.
Sure.
Although I had never heard you mention the 40 brain centers, 40 brain, whatever it was that you just said. That's actually a new term for me. So,
Um, Actually, this is something that Bruce raised. I think the first time I probably heard it may have been 5 or 6 years ago. Um, I was not aware that prior to that time, that there was a consideration of that many separate energy centers in the brain.
wow,
I was aware that there was more than just one,
right,
but not 40. Um, so I have not really studied 40, so that I convey the information, but I'm repeating what my teacher has said.
right, right. Yeah, no, like I said, that's the first time I've heard you mention it. I was 5 or 6 years ago, I was not back with you yet. So
Yeah,
when you did first experience it, however much you talked about it, I must have missed it.
yeah.
So,
Can you give an example of one? What one would be?
Um, Actually, there is one related to each of the I'm losing a word here. Um, Glands
Mm.
in the brain.
Okay.
So that's kind of a start into that.
hmm,
And as I said, I haven't studied that
Yeah, yeah. I was
with
just yeah.
um, Bruce, so I don't.
But they're geographically identified.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
do they coincide with the meridians?
Well,
Not to try and go too deep into this. I'm just
you don't
curious.
have you don't have the the meridians are really more surface. So no,
Right.
they. Uh, I would say that yes, um, some of them probably would connect with the central channel,
Yeah.
certainly,
Okay.
and perhaps with side channels. And I don't know. I admittedly don't have that knowledge.
Okay.
One of the things I will study in my next lifetime.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, so, any other questions at the moment?
Not at the moment. No.
Okay. So, I really would like you to try the no arm
Mm.
8 gates again, and really um, turn. Hey, Jeff, I'm going to ask you to turn sideways to the camera so I can see what's
Yep.
happening with your sacrum as well as possible.
Okay.
Um, and really try to be aware of those 8 organs and dantian centers as you go through. Okay? Good. So, how was that?
Scattered.
Scattered. What? How scattered?
I, at times, did things that I wanted to be doing, and then it felt like I just didn't have full concentration.
Hmm.
Um, I was trying to move the center of the C curve up my back because you had mentioned that it was very low last week. Were you able to notice?
Definitely better. And
Okay.
the movement Im- definitely improved as you went along.
Mm.
At first, it seemed a little stiff, and then towards the end, um, it felt much more natural, and the neck appeared to have relaxed, um, and I felt you were moving the neck and the sacrum in a good relationship to each other.
Yeah, that felt reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah,
The the stiffness comes when I try to concentrate on whatever,
yeah.
and that's whether it's this or God's or the form or
Hmm.
whatever. Um, and then once it gets locked in reasonably and I can relax about it, then things seem to move more smoothly. So
Yeah, good. Uh, for you, Jeff?
Um, whether or not I actually was doing this or not, you can tell me, but I felt like I was doing actually what you just said, which was getting progressively better as I went through the flow. And
Mhm.
towards the end, I felt like I was doing it in a much more relaxed and coordinated way. And even to the point where on the last couple of postures, I was able to start focusing also on keeping my breath going constantly without that pause that I have.
Oh,
So
good,
when I was able to put all those together, like basically for the last two postures, it felt really good. But
good.
that's my personal observation of that particular flow.
Yeah. Actually, it did look pretty good. You certainly have improved over the last time I really watched you.
Mm.
Um, at first, I felt that you were overemphasizing the movement of the neck, but that did begin to balance more as you went
Yeah.
along.
In fact, I what exactly, and I felt I was actually putting my whole shoulders into it too initially, which I
Yep,
realized after a posture or two. And when I stopped doing that, it started to feel better and more relaxed as well. You're right.
yep. Um, yeah. So that definitely improvements. Um,
Good.
so try to try to practice this a bit. You don't have to do it every time, but
Mm.
it's good. I think to keep working on this a bit. Um,
I think it's a good thing doing it without the arms right now too, because it does allow the focus on the C curve and that
yep,
movement. So I think
yep,
I need to do that more as well.
yep. Good,
Very beneficial.
good. So how about when it goes into the form? Nothing to it.
no, no questions at all.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried to flow a couple of times this week through the form doing that, and I mean, I know that it should coincide with our in and out anyways, our bending and stretching and twisting and all, but it's still I lose it sometimes still. So,
Oh,
as we go through the form and break it down, it would be good to kind of just refresh the bending and the straightening of the C curve and all through that.
okay. Um, so any particular questions that
Excuse
you
me one
ran in?
second. I have to get this. I'll be right back, David. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Hold
Any particular questions?
Uh, no, I honestly worked more on the 8 gates than on the form.
That's fine.
They both can stand practice, but
Well,
it's a matter of,
also the fact that you're doing 2 classes makes it much more difficult to find the practice time. So,
yeah, yeah, that is true, and I do juggle that a bit. But I've found as now the years have passed in doing both of those that they borrow from each other. They
oh yeah,
they overlap a lot more than I had realized would be the case
yeah,
at the beginning. So um,
yeah. This,
anything we do here applies there, and vice versa.
yeah. And of course, God's is a little bit further along than this, or a lot further along than this. You are in this class, but you can apply
Yeah.
all those things that you're working on in the God's class, because you're not trying to do the form in that class.
Right.
They're working on the long form, and this is fine.
Very good. Thank you. Appreciate the call.
So I mean, basically, when I do the form, it's always the same places, and I really ought to just stop trying to do half or all of the form and work on
Absolutely.
transitions, and then there are almost always transitions. I mean, the shoulder is still, I'm still trying to figure that out. And sometimes I do it and I say, so that's what it feels like. And then the next time I can't replicate, so.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're absolutely right. If you have with places like that, and you can really only work on one at a time, you probably should just stop and do that section, 10 times.
Yeah.
And see if you can find how to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish with it. And you pick on that one. That happens to be a difficult moment.
Yeah, and I also, I offhand, lift hand, I just get tied in knots there for some reason or other. My body doesn't go the same way twice in a row.
That's too bad.
Sometimes close, but it's not at all consistent.
So that's interesting. It sounds like you know what you want to do with shoulder, but you're not sure with left hand.
Yeah, true.
Maybe we should look at that at the moment.
Fair enough. I could pick 8 or 10 others, but those two I know, they're standard. Unfortunately,
the thing about lift hand is that you really have to try to be careful, be aware of where your weight is in it, because that really, if you're struggling with balance in that, then it's really difficult because so much is going on.
Yeah.
So when you complete single whip, the first part is just like it is
Mhm.
in
At the beginning, yeah.
at the beginning. You have the shift, rotate and touch, but here's where it changes. Because this much is what we've done the first
Mhm.
time. And now you have to be balanced because you are rotating to step into a bow stance so that you can go into a left hand.
Yeah, it's that rotation that gets me. Yeah.
And and I completely understand because we do this and it continues. It's touch boom.
Mm.
It's touch step. It's not land.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's the thing that happens to us is that we get to here and we put our weight on it and we can't, I mean on the touch, not in the step. So it really is taking your time and finding your balance. Where is that? Oh yeah, touch, step, expand. Boom.
Yeah.
And there you are.
Yeah, it looks dead simple.
It's, I don't know that I go that far.
Well, I mean, it's clear, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't you stand up and try it? The boat stand up and try it.
Yep.
Just calm down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, it's right at this point that, I make wrong decisions.
Well,
So
you've already made one.
I'm weighted over here.
Yeah, but, we have to go back.
Okay.
Because you started rotating immediately.
Okay.
And that posture has never been that way. It has been shift, rotate and touch, step, and rotate into the posture. So you have to start with shifting, which causes the left arm to rise and the right to sink a little. And when you get to 100%, then you can rotate and touch. And the left hand comes in a little further and the right comes to that push with the palm at thigh level. And then you have just rotated right to get into this, and now you're going to rotate left, which brings the two hands in, positions the two, and they're right in front of the center of your body.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're just rotating and shifting forward into your bow stance. Boom. So do it again. So no. Shift first. And wait a minute. Go back. When you shift onto that foot.
Mm-hmm.
That happens.
Okay.
That's all that happens. This doesn't sweep yet. When you rotate your dantian to move that leg, now this arm can move.
Okay.
But it can't before that. How when you do this, shift your weight. What coordination is there to rotate that arm? Good. Much better. Slow down.
Yeah.
Let yourself go through step by step. Well, play it a couple times. Let me see what Jeff's doing over here.
So, David, my question here,
Yep.
let me do it and I'll ask it. My question is related to how long we are drawing in before we go back out. So what I've always done is drawing in, drawing in, drawing in, drawing in, drawing in, out.
Yes,
Okay.
that's
I wanted to
correct.
make sure I was doing it correctly.
Yep, that is correct.
All right. So, yeah.
So let the arms. Okay, so when you shift, go back. When you shift the weight, the left arm rises and the right arm sinks.
Yeah,
So
like
there
that.
is movement, but its own. There's no rotation or twisting visible. There is internal twisting, but
Yeah,
the rotation comes when you. I mean the there is movement of the arms caused by the shifting of the weight.
right. But it's not here until we start to turn after 100%, right?
Yep. Then
Right.
they come. Yep.
Yep. And then
Step.
the rotation sets the foot out, right?
Yep.
And then the rotation back and shifting forward.
Yes.
Okay.
Good.
All right. Okay, got it.
So. What is this arm doing between?
It's coming in.
It's just coming in because what I've noticed is that it's over here somewhere.
Yeah, it was getting left out.
Yeah.
You're right. So you're here, and at first it goes up a little,
Mm-hmm.
and then here it has come in a little,
Okay.
and then here it comes in a little further,
Okay.
and now it goes out.
Okay.
So
That's
it's
rather
going to go
different.
up, in, and out,
Okay.
and keeping the armpit open. Mm-hmm. So when you touch that right toe forward, on here, straight ahead.
Oh. Ooh, wait, I'm in the corner.
Straight ahead.
Okay.
Heel toe. Straight ahead. This is just a toe touch because it's only boom, boom.
And the second one is heel toe.
Heel toe. Straight ahead.
Yeah. Well, I've been doing them both toe and to the side,
Yeah,
to the corner. Yeah. So major.
they are. Because your bow stance is here.
Yeah.
And it comes from the fact that the left foot is already turned out in single whip.
Yeah.
So it forms the back foot of your bow stance.
Yeah. Mhm.
When you step, that has to turn out clear over. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to do it with my toe. While I'm doing that, this is just sitting here doing nothing.
Yeah, it's so, it's,
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, I get it, yeah, so. Yeah.
okay.
It's a matter of putting it together.
That's something to practice on this week.
Whoa.
You have another question, Jeff?
Um, no, not on that posture. I think I get it.
Okay.
Uh, my only question is when we exit that posture to go back into the next one, how we start that.
Sure.
I used to do it by shifting, but I think I remember last time we looked at it, we started with rotation.
A minute, I have to.
Yeah.
Uh, here we go. So yeah, that's a. Um, that's a corner that's hard to round.
Mm,
That's part of the problem. Um, when you get to here, there's
yeah.
kind of a tendency to go, just create the corner there.
Right.
And what you got to do is let it round a little, which turns the leg and takes you up. What form am I doing? I'm doing this form. Sorry. Problem with having more than one form.
Right.
So you're here, so you're rounding, and this is coming in, and then it's going out as you continue on up into the posture.
So you're not really shifting back, you're rounding and rotating.
Well, I'm back because that front foot is empty.
Can you go start it one more time?
Sure. So you're weighted onto that right foot.
Right.
So you're going to turn, which turns that right foot in, and then you're going to shift onto that right foot and go up. And you end up ideally facing straight to the side. So you've got to turn that right foot
Right.
far enough to be able to do your um, to do the stance.
So when you start moving from the start, you are both rotating and shifting onto your left foot at the same time.
Uh, yes, I did
Okay.
think about it. So you're
Okay.
rotating so that you can turn that right foot in, and then you're going to continue to rotate and rise.
Right.
And one of the things is that when you get to 100% on that left foot, you can let, on the right foot, excuse me, you can let the left foot float. If it's not in exactly the right position, you can let it readjust there.
Okay. All right.
Do you have
Yeah,
a further
yeah, no,
question?
that answers it and helps, watching you do it and all. Because I had always used to just I had started that with a shift before rotating,
Uh-huh.
but it's doing both initially and rounding at the same time.
I may have taught it originally as a shift, um, and realized then that I wasn't rounding the corner.
Oh, okay.
So one of the things eventually to work on is that there are no corners.
Right.
Master Joe was really big on that.
Mm,
Um, I mean, we'd be flowing along quietly, and everybody would be very calm. And all of a sudden, he'd say, "Round your corners!"
Right. Right.
So, but it's a good point because as soon as you create that corner, you've created an interruption in the flow of the energy.
Right. I always think back to the silk reeling. If you do a sharp corner, it's going to break the reeling of the silk.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So that's one of the um, advantages of doing all the complex stages of the 8 gates training that Master Joe did, that you discover how to round in every possible direction and plane. And really great, frustrating work.
That's my recollection. I started that at some point in one of the classes. That's certainly by far the hardest thing I've done in Tai Chi.
Uh-huh.
And I, practically tied my arms in knots trying to.
When you starting at different points around the circle, yeah, all of it. It's neat. It's really neat. It is one of the best trainings I have ever run into in terms of keeping your intent focused.
Yeah.
Because if you let it slip for a moment, you're done.
Yeah.
You're lost.
What are you referring to, David?
The 8 gates training.
Okay.
And what I was referring to at that moment was that in every plane of doing just the Jin, you eventually start it at. Eventually, you want to do all 8 points around the circle, but you start with just doing 4,
Mm-hmm.
and it changes the transitions and. By the time you get to the 4th, you're saying, "Wait a minute, where do I go?" So it's a wonderful. I mean, I think it's one of the most brilliant things Master Joe taught, but um, lots of fun.
Mm.
Sort of beyond what we're doing right at the moment.
Right.
It's a whole class by itself.
Yeah, no, I was trying to remember, the specifics of what it is, and I can't really. So, but I understand.
Well, there's all the stages. There's a walk. There's just the standing basic dynamic sphere,
Right.
and then doing it in the bow stance,
Right. Okay.
um, and it leads eventually to that 8 posture Yang style form.
Mm.
But in between, there are just multiple ways of doing your Jin. So, um, you're working in a bow stance, and you start with um, beginning with the weight back and moving forward, and then you start with the weight forward and move back. But all the arm movements are just the same. The
Right.
energy movements are just the same, but you have reversed the direction of the body. So that's when it gets really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, I just remember, backwards,
Yeah,
being mind-boggling.
yeah, it is at first. Absolutely. Anyway, it's a wonderful training.
I probably have the teaching site CD from that.
You might. I taught a lot more of it recently, and because I was doing an eight gates class,
Yeah.
went on for I don't know 2 or 3 years. Anyway, blah blah blah. Other form questions?
Um, the one I was going to ask, I didn't know if we had any more time or not to do it, is the in and out as we go through wave hands. You know, because
Oh,
I
nothing to it.
no, that was an adventure for me this week. I tried to do it a couple times and it was never really clear.
It's so different between the yang and the wu. Um, but yes, I'd be delighted. I love this wave hands
Yeah,
now. At
right.
first, I found it very frustrating, and now I really like it.
Mm,
But yes, I will be glad to
okay.
endeavor to share a
Yeah,
little bit.
it's that the points. I'm not real clear on the at which points through the flow around and around we are transitioning from in to out, basically.
Okay, that's easy. So if we've gotten to down and under, so you're up, you're weighted on the right foot, and then you're rotating and sinking into that right foot to step. And notice that at the point of the step, that my right hand is still higher than my left. And this is the beginning of the out. You've been going in up to this point.
Okay.
So now as you rotate and shift forward, you're expanding out,
Yeah.
and you're keeping this right in front of the center of the body. And then you start coming back in.
Yeah.
All right? And as you make that rotation, as you, I got my foot a little wrong, but as you pass through the center, you begin to go out. But this turn is far less than the one on the left.
Right.
On the left, you could go almost straight ahead, probably not quite straight ahead, because you're not in a bow stance. It's narrow stance.
Mm.
And here you have only the rotation on the foot. So you have the rotation to the heel, and that's your out.
Right. Okay.
And now you're rotating back, turning the toe in, and right hand is higher than the left at the point at which you step out with the left. This is the in. Now you're going out. The spine straightens. The spine begins to bend. Bend, bend, bend. Turn on toe, heel. Begin to extend. Straighten. Go out. Back in. 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 In.
Okay. So it's simpler than I have been making it because the transition points are on each end, each extreme end, even though, I realize that you don't rotate as much that way as you do that way, but it's at the point, furthest point. Those are the two transition points. And each time you cross the center. And
Yep.
that's it. All right.
It's just that the crossing of the center is not the same on each one.
Right.
It's the same energetically, it's not the same physically.
Right, but it's the point at which still you are going away versus going towards,
Yes.
um, intent wise and everything else, even though it's not physically 50-50 on either side. So,
Right.
but I think that's why I was a little bit unclear about it because the physical wasn't matching the intent and the energetic movement. But,
Absolutely.
but I mean, you clarified it, so it does make sense that it is like most things, it's a lot simpler than we initially make it. So,
Do you have a question?
Yeah, it just occurred to me as you, okay, so you're here and you bring the ball. How does this hand get up?
So you change the speed of your rotation. So you're out here. So you're rotating and condensing the ball as you come back in.
Okay, so
And
you're
it's wherever
okay,
wherever you want it to be here, you don't want it to be here.
okay,
You want it to be here so that you still have, this gives you the space to make the shift and step
right,
without losing the continuous rotation of the arms.
yeah,
And once you make that step, now it's out and in and out
okay.
and in. And it's, so that's the tricky part.
Yeah, I think I get that. What I've been doing is bringing my hands, letting them be on the same plane for too long.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
because that's how we learned the movement to begin with, and that was intentional.
okay.
Because when we first learned the movement, I think it would have been too hard to try to incorporate
Yeah,
this.
fair enough. Yeah, doesn't upset me.
So, why don't you both? We have a few minutes, so why don't you both stand up and just try this a little bit? Come on, where are you? Okay, so Jeff,
yeah,
um, you when you go from the right side to the left,
yeah,
you're just rotating on that right heel, turning the toe in, and what you're doing is moving your arms too fast, so you don't end up when you get to 100% on the right foot with the right hand higher than the left, which gives you, because what happens is you get stuck there. You can't keep rotating the ball. You run out of rotation.
okay. So when we get to the point here, we still want the right hand higher before we go.
Yes, yes,
Okay. Yeah, I've been getting it down to like here and
yep.
then go like that.
And then what happens is that as you're going out, you get
Yeah.
stuck. You don't, there's a point at which your arms are not moving.
But I'm too far ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
that that's why that transition is different each on each side. It's not the same because you're not making the same movement.
Okay.
No.
Yeah,
And you knew it.
indeed.
So let me pause you for a moment because you're doing pretty well, but the the difficulty you're having is, and you you may not be aware of it, is that you're rotating the ball too quickly, so that it's moving faster than your weight shift.
Okay,
Do you understand what I'm saying?
yeah. That would be my hands and arms taking over again.
Exactly, exactly. You got it.
Yeah.
And so it's because what you're looking for in this movement, what you're looking for basically, if I take away the complexity of what we're doing, what you're looking for is to expand and contract and to expand and contract. And this is fine when I'm just standing still and moving the same amount to each side. But when you add the body movements that are involved, that it doesn't just do this. You have to make it coordinate together.
Yeah, transition more slowly, throughout. Yeah.
Yeah. You understand?
Yes, I understand.
Nothing to it. There's something happening with your weight shift there, Jeff. Um, Notice it has to do with your pivot on your right foot
Mhm.
because um, I've got to start this. So you come back through the center and
Yeah.
notice that I pivot on my my right toe
Yeah.
and my right heel. I never shift back and forth.
Oh, okay. I'm doing the foot part right. I didn't realize I was shifting while doing it.
You are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I saw you do it 3 times in a row, so then I realized.
Yeah, no, I believe you. Like I said, I just didn't know it. So that's key right there. Maybe
Yeah.
that's why I was intuitively having some problems with the in and out because I was doing a little bit of an unintentional shift in there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And it
Okay.
is you are as I was saying to Bill, um, you are in this trying to keep that continuous
Right.
movement out and in and out and in. And you want to one of the problems with this is the center transition isn't so much of a problem, but we tend to go out, in, out, in. We tend to make a break when we're out here. So we have
Right.
to try to find, how does that overlap?
Mm,
How does it just flow from one to the other? That's
right.
that. That's again rounding the corner,
Yep.
keeping it going.
Okay.
So this was a good one to raise because this is a great posture to train a lot on.
Yeah, it's always challenging, and that's why I do like to do it. And similar to the eight gates, it's repetition.
Yeah.
So it's good to get into that flow, just like the eight gates, without having to change everything from one posture to the next. So that's
Yeah.
why that's why I often ask about this one, because I do this one, I think, more than others.
Well, I hope this helps clarify this.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
now.
For now,
For now.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I think that's enough.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Have
Thank
a great
you.
week.
Yeah.
Have a
And I
good
may
week.
or may not, if I can get out of the car dealership in time to get here.
You're going to Reynolds?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Where else? I know.
So,
Okay, great.
okay.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Well, I'll hope to see
Uh,
you.
yeah.
If you can't, you can always just jump in on Zoom.
Yeah. But it's an extra 20 minutes,
Oh, that's
until I
right.
get home.
That's
So,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah. Well, just come here if you can. Be glad to see you.
Okay.
all right. So Jesse and Kate get home on Friday.
Oh, I'll bet you're a little excited anyway.
Yeah, I miss him a lot. It's been over 7 weeks now, so I miss him a
Yeah.
lot. But
Yeah.
school starts right around the corner. School starts August 11th.